This is EVGA's PowerLink 52u, guaranteed to give you cleaner power, better airflow, and improved looks. Is it worth $60 US? No. But also yes. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So if you're with me on my last video, we had unboxed the EVGA 3090 Ti Kingpin edition. I've got it installed in the computer now. You can see it running here. It's running great. However, there was something I was waiting for. See, right when I was able to order the graphics card, they had also announced the new PowerLink, the 52u PowerLink, which is supposed to improve airflow and normalize power and produce unicorns, something. I don't know, rainbows, lollipops. It was supposed to be fantastic. $59.99 US dollars was supposed to take the 3090 Ti Kingpin to the next level, because $2,500 wasn't enough. They had to try and get the extra 60. So of course I ordered it. Now, I was going to do an unboxing of it. However, the box just looks like this. It's nondescript. Inside the box, however, was this. It looks like something your cables would come in. But instead, you get your $60 52U power connector, which we'll go through in a second. You get your quick start guide, which is incredibly comprehensive, and it tells you where the 3 screws go, 2 tiny little screws and a thumb screw to hold it on, and most importantly, the foam. That's it. That's what came in the package. That box contained that, and that's fine. That's fine, EVGA. You didn't want to include it. Instead, you put in the 2 16-pin power connector adapters, which take 3 8-pins each, instead of just including this up front. So I don't know what I paid for those adapters, but now I paid for this too. Now let's have a look at it. So what we get here, and it's pretty nice. The housing is plastic. We see some nicely machined in and molded in, depending. So this part here is metal. The rest of the housing is plastic. You can see the power rail inside through here. I'm not sure how well you can see that. You can see it a little bit. And then this side, so you can see a little bit of what's going on in there. Now, the purpose of this is to, well, first of all, it has the same color scheme as the Kingpin edition. And for the record, this is one of the best looking Kingpin cards I've seen. The 3090, love the card. Didn't love how it looked. This one looks a lot better. Now, it plugs into the side. So keep in mind, with most graphics cards, the pins are actually on what would be the front of the card if you're horizontally mounted, or the bottom of the card if you are vertically mounted like I am here. Kingpin cards actually come off of the back and then wrap around into the case. Now, it's interesting because if you're horizontally mounted with this, there's really no difference versus vertically mounted. They come off the back, they wrap around to the back. It looks fine, just comes in. It actually looks nice and clean right now. These adapter cables come off. They do block the airflow a little bit. You can't really see it here, but we're talking like marginal amounts. Like, it's not going to impact cooling at all. So let's look at the part and consider how it's going to be used. So the actual pins, the 8-pin connectors, go into what will be well, if you're horizontally mounted, it would be the bottom. So you'd have these 5 connectors coming out along the bottom of your case and in the O11D right across the fans, and then up and in. That's going to be hideous. It's going to be way worse than just having the 2 16-pin connectors. However, if you're vertically mounted like I am, this is where we have some potential, because what's going to happen is you're going to have the 5 power connectors come off. You're going to bring it into a bundle, likely kept tight with Velcro strips, and it's going to go into the back, and it's all going to be hidden behind the graphics card. So that might actually look cleaner. Will it improve airflow? Technically, because right now, you know, if this was the Kingpin graphics card, I've got the 2 adapters coming out. They go in front of the fans that are along the side of the case. So yes, there's going to be a slight impact to airflow there. So you're going to see some benefit there. Mostly, this is just going to make it look good. That's it. That's what it is. You're paying $60 to make it look good. What bothers me is you spend $2,500 on a card, and they couldn't just include this instead of the adapters. I think it's good. Give people this option, but just include this. Or, you know what? The people that are buying the card, include it and add another $50 to the price. Don't try and sell another thing. You're looking at here, most people are looking to buy a 3060, maybe a 3070. Then you get into the enthusiast, where you're looking at a 3080. Then you get into the enthusiasts that are buying a 3090. Maybe they're buying one of the aftermarket ones, one of the higher end ones, like a Strix or a Kingpin or a Galax Hall of Fame edition, or any Gigabyte Extreme, a Gigabyte Master, whatever the case is, to get that little bit more. And now we've got the 3090 Ti, which is the enthusiast of the enthusiast of the enthusiast of the enthusiast. And then you've got the 3090 Ti Kingpin. So we're at so many levels of enthusiast inception here that just increase the price $50, because now you got this for the enthusiast of the enthusiast of the enthusiast of the enthusiast of the enthusiast. It's becoming a tongue twister, EVGA. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe once I get this installed, the cable management will be immaculate. Maybe it's going to improve my overclocks from what they are to 15 megahertz more. But I'm skeptical. Okay, Future Dave here. We've got the 52U installed. It looks pretty good. We'll go through that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the benchmarks and whether or not we got what EVGA claimed that they were going to sell us as far as this power cleaning and airflow and all of that. Like, did we get $60 of value? Now, for the performance comparison, we're going to use Port Royal just because it's heavily focused on GPU and nothing else really factors in as much. And I specifically looked for two examples that used as close to the same settings as possible. In both cases, highly repeatable, same settings, off we went. So in order to do this, we ran Port Royal. And I looked for two tests that were pretty much the same because there is a minor difference. And both of them were repeatable. The long story short, too long did not read, it's the same. There's no benefit. The score on the left was achieved using the two 16-pin power connectors and 6 8-pin power cables coming off the PSU. The one on the right is the one where we used the 52U. You can see the scores are pretty much identical. But again, there is a difference. So if you look at the core, we were 1 point of resolution, or 15 megahertz faster with the two 16-pin power connectors. However, we were able to achieve just a little bit more speed on the RAM with the 52U. That could be anything from the temperature of the room, it just being seated a little bit differently. We're talking margin of error here. No significant impact. Both scores highly repeatable under the exact same circumstances, the same background applications, the same everything. So is EVGA right when they tell us that we're going to get this cleaner power for better overclocking? No. That's snake oil. So now it comes down to the next part. Do you get better airflow? Again, not really. So the question that still remains is, does it look better? So let's go through some side-by-sides. So in this image here, we have the initial design with the two 16-pin connectors. And now we have a similar angle with the 52U. Next, we have a bit of a side angle with the bundled cables going into the back of the case. And now we have it with the 52U with the cables lined up and going into the back of the case. A little bit of an undershot, again just showing the way the cables are mounted. Unfortunately, you don't really see much from the other side because of how clean it is. Okay, so now for the conclusion. Should you buy it? Should you buy the PowerLink 52U or the PowerLink 41U, I think it is, which is for the regular 3090 Ti's, if there's such a thing? The answer is it depends. Without getting into some sort of electrical engineering exercise, it doesn't appear to give you any benefit. Should you get it for better airflow? It doesn't appear to give you any benefit. Does it look better? Well, that's subjective. That's up to you. For me, they were really close. I like the idea, I like the concept, I like the fact that it manages out better. I'm big on the 90 pin angle that just takes it straight out of the case, so that when you look at it straight on, it looks clean. I would have liked to have seen them mirror the shape of the housing at that point, because it would have flowed a little bit better. Additionally, I wish they had actually included it with the card. You included a 1600 watt power supply, but you couldn't include this. It's a very strange flex, EVGA. But more importantly, there was an opportunity here to include it with the 3090 Ti Kingpin. So if it's going to be limited to one card, just include it. So in the next couple of weeks, we're expecting delivery of the EVGA E1 carbon fiber wire mounted case thing. Frame, case, I don't even know. If this is the type of content you'd like to see, please like, share, subscribe, put a note in the comment, and I'd like some thoughts on how I'm going to cable manage this thing, because it's literally suspended in the air by cables. How am I going to run all the power cables? So give me your thoughts on that.